Hello Infiniteers, and welcome to a special episode of Toy Box Tutorials. We're going to spend the next few months examining various toys that are unlocked through Toy Box Takeover, Marvel Battlegrounds, and some of the other 3.0 playsets. These are toys that we do not have official developer tutorials for, and I thought it would be fun to build a toy box along the way to show you practical examples of how you might use these toys. We're going to be building this factory toy box, and the player's goal will be to make their way through the complex in order to shut it down. Our first tutorial in this new toy box will be on Friday, so I'm taking a break from my Nautilus series today to build the basic framework for the factory. I will resume my Nautilus series next week. We have a lot to do, so let's get started. Okay. I am beginning in a new empty toy box, and the first thing I want to do is put down the sky changer from the Instant Fun category and set the sky. So we'll go into the properties, and the sky we want is under 2.0. It's the Galactic Prison. This is from the Escape the Kiln toy box game in 2.0. We'll delete the sky changer because we don't need that. And for the terrain theme, we are also going to use the kiln theme. And there we go. And if you don't have those themes or the sky, you'll find them in the toy store, and you can look at the toy store tutorial that we did a couple of months ago. See where to find those. Okay, now let me pull up my screen grabs here. First thing I want to do is we're going to look at the orientation of the toy box here. And the orientation is pretty much the same on either side except this side back here, which is behind the player as they enter the toy box. And so we're going to put our starting block over this way. And so the next thing we're going to put down, we're going to keep the terrain piece that we started with, and we're going to put down this kiln bridge piece that's under the gameplay toys. We'll put one here. Oops. And then we'll spin it around and put another one right next to it, like that. Then we'll go to the terrain category. And this small terrain block we're going to put down right on the end, like that. And I want to orient this just like that. Okay, and this will be our starting block. So let's bring our starting pad back there. And we will center that on this block, like so. Okay. Next thing we will do is use this small flat terrain block, and we're going to put some points of interest here, some raised areas on top of this block. And I want to orient this this way, so that when I put this down, this line of texture sort of lines up with this one. I think that's pretty close to what we've got there. And then we're going to put down another one over on this corner and one on this corner. And we're going to put down another one of these, but let's go up to Building Sets Group 5 first. I want to put a little bridge that's going to go over to the top of that. So we're going to use the kiln bridge piece. And notice the width of this piece. I'm going half the width over, one nudge from the edge of that. And we're going to put down 4 of these total. And go back to the terrain, place our little tower here. And I think I want to orient this like that. Okay, so the edge of the block here should line up with the edge of that block. And that is it for our first tower, our first little island. Now we're going to put some spacer blocks in to help us get to the next island. So we're going to use this block here, positioned between those two blocks up on the top of that one. And then we're going to put one on the corner over here, like this. And we'll pick this piece up and come over to the corner there and go one nudge to the left, like that. And if we do that right, we'll be in the right spot. And I think I want to orient this way. Okay, so then we can take these two out. And here's our next island. And it's going to be something, one of the command centers for our factory. So to kind of distinguish this, we'll put a set piece up on top of this. So if we go to the right in the set pieces drawer, we're going to use the Nowhere Watchtower. And we're going to put this down on top of that, kind of centered on that block. Like that. So there we go. Alright, let's pick this piece up and put it back without moving it. Grab the next size smaller. We're going to come over here. Let me make sure I get this right. Yeah. We're going to drop this down right here on the corner, like that. And then go to the biggest size here. We're going to put down 2 of these. Okay. And these are just spacer blocks again to help us get to the next island. And the spacing here is very important because when we put in all the conveyors and everything later, that's going to matter. Okay, so then we're going to place a tiny terrain block on the end of this. We're going to put 5 of these down. And then once again, we'll pick this piece up, put it back. We're going to come over here. Line it up. This is actually where I want it, but if you line it up with the edge of the spacer blocks down below, and then go one nudge to the right, that's where you want that. And then the next half height one will go next to that. And if you've done this right, then this block here should be half a block off the end of that. And it is. So there you go. Alright, so now we can delete these and this big spacer block. And for right now, I'm going to keep this one. We'll delete that shortly. Alright, so we'll pick this piece up and put it back. Grab the next size smaller. Put this up here, just like that. And then the next size smaller will go over here. With this size here, and that's smaller size right in there. So we're kind of creating a little pocket here. And just so we don't have a gap on the side there, let's run this down all the way. Okay, so then let's pick this piece up. Put it down. We're going to drop another one up here. and then the really tall one up top. We'll bring that one over like that. And we're going to place 2 of those, followed by that, followed by a pair of those. Put one of these over here, and then one of those. And so we got a little pocket there, and this time we're going to add in a little floor piece here. Okay, and then we'll pick this piece up, put it back, and we're almost done with this island. We're going to place 2 of these along the back like that. Okay, so there is that island. And those 2 openings are going to be where conveyors are going to be coming in and out. Okay, let's grab this block now. Pick that up, and we're going to move it over to the other side. And we're going to put this in here. And I just realized I forgot something. But let's just put this down for right now. I'm going to put 2 more like that. And we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay. So let's place this over here. Like that. Those are just 2 spacer blocks. These ones we're going to keep. And I'll put this down like this. We're going to put 3 of them down. Followed by 2, 3, 4, and a small one. Like that. And then we'll take these 2 out. Okay, so that leaves us with that. And then we can take this out. Okay. And over here, let's pick that up, put it back. We're going to add in 2 of these along the side here. And again, these are just spacers. And we're going to put this one kind of hanging half off like that. Bring it over 1 though, 1 nudge. And then put another one like that. And then we're going to slide over and grab this piece, and it's going to sit right there in that little corner pocket. Just like that. And I think we're going to orient this that way. And now we can take these blocks out. And that gets us over here to this next island. Pick that up, put it down without moving it. We're going to put down 4 of these, like that. And then this is going to sit on the end here, but we're going to move it over 2 nudges, the width of 1 terrain cube. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So just like that. And Is this the orientation that I want? Or do I want it like that? I think it doesn't really matter. I think we'll put it down that way. And we're going to put 3 of these down. Let's see, like you see there. Just double checking my notes. Okay, do the same thing on this side. All right, and then put those in there like that, and then grab this big piece. We're going to center it on there like so. And yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's pick this little piece up now. We're going to build kind of a little raised area here in the center of this big platform. This is going to be an arena for a boss battle that we're going to create. All right, so as we're looking at this, we want to kind of center this in the middle of this platform. Just drop that there for right now. Scroll over to the right. And I'm looking for the small terrain ramp corner. There we go. And this will sit here on the corner like that. Which means this is going to sit on the corner of that. We're going to put 4 of these down. One of these on each of the corners, and we'll put some ramps along the side in just a moment. Okay, we'll delete that little piece. We'll pick this one up, and we're going to center this on those blocks, bring it all the way out, drop it down. We're going to create like a little pier off the end like that. And then to kind of spruce this up a little bit, we're going to use a little trick, and we're going to grab some racetrack pieces. Even though we're not going to be racing on it, this is just decorative. I'm going to center it like that, and we're going to set the theme on this to be the kiln theme. And I'm just waiting for that to update. Okay. And then we're going to do this on either side as well. It just makes that look a little bit more impressive, which I think is good. And let me double check something here. Yeah. Okay, so this does not go all the way through. And then I want to look for the intersection, because usually they put something nice and decorative on that. We're going to center this in the middle of that upper platform, just like you see there. And there you go. All right, one more little island to build, and then we can add the decorations. We're going to grab this long flat terrain block, spin this around and put this up here. This will be another spacer block. And then next to that, we'll put in this. And this will be where our final island goes. And we're going to put it in like that. We'll take those out. And we're going to put a little tower in the middle of it. So we'll center this on the block. And then once again, we'll add a little dock that comes out here. Okay, and there are all the islands, at least the terrain for them. And at this point, we have the basic structure of the toy box. Now I'm going to add in the details, and this will take a while, so let me do that offline, and then I will come back and show you what I've got. Okay, I am back, and I have added many of the plant clusters and decorations for this toy box. So let me give you a quick flyover to show you what I've got. And for those of you who want to follow along and build this toy box with me, you can pause this video along the way and copy what I've done. So on the starting platform here, I have placed the kiln railings out of Building Sets Group 7, and I've used them to create a perimeter around this starting block, as you can see. And of course we have our bridge. And then on this side I have added a little bit of kiln railings. And then you can see I've added them over here as well. Plus up on top, like you see here. And I've left this side open intentionally. And we have, of course, our bridge. And I added this decoration out of the decorations drawer. It's the kiln pylon. And then we have plant clusters that I've placed. And of course, these are the first 9 plants out of the plants drawer. And you can see which ones I've placed and how I've oriented them. And for these, you can notice the little purple flower and where it's oriented along the base of each of these plants. And notice how they're positioned. And some more railing. This plant cluster, again, notice the little red flower there and how that's oriented. And more railings. I've got a little tiny railing, and then the long railing and the end cap. Same on the other side. And notice how these are positioned, and they're away from the edge over here. If you don't get these exactly right, you can tweak it next time when we look at the pieces that we're going to use to build the ramp there. This is another piece out of the decorations drawer. And then notice these 2 pieces here and how they're oriented. And if you don't get these exactly the way I have them, that's okay. These are also out of the decorations drawer. They're located with all the other kiln pieces. Alright, so that's the first area here. Oh, and again, you can see how I've set up the railings up here. And how I've set up the railings over here. And notice this corner is lined up, it's empty, to line up with that side, because we're going to be doing something here. Alright, so that's it for the first island. The next island over here, again, notice the railings. And notice how I've left these open on either end. And the opening is that wide, by the way. And on this side, it's a little bit bigger than that. And it's directly across from this side. Same size opening. And then we have some plant clusters around our tower. Notice the sprig there that tells you how it's oriented. If you don't get it exactly the same way that I've got mine, that's okay. This is just a terrain cube with a decoration on top of it from the decorations drawer. Kiln boiler. Alright, we've taken out all our helper blocks, of course. And over here, again, if you don't get these exactly the way I have them, that's okay, because we can tweak these later on. Now these are from the Twilight of the Republic playset. They're the Droid Factory pillars. You can see which pieces I'm using and how they're positioned. We have that piece, and then this one sitting on top of it, and again over here. And it's kind of centered on either side of this opening here. Again, we got little plants, plant clusters here as well. And then up on top, we've got some more Droid Factory pillars. And I just kind of created 2 rows of those. Kind of staggered them a little bit. And again, if you don't get these exactly the way I've got mine, that's okay. Probably start with this one in the centered position there. Centered on that terrain seam. And then just build from there. And I went all the way around the perimeter. Up top, a couple more Droid Factory pillar pieces out of building sets group 6. 6 or 5? 5, actually. And then I put a little terrain cube here on the end with a boiler on either side. And this radar tower up on top. That's it for that island. For this one, notice again the railing around the perimeter with an opening in the middle, and once again it's wide enough to put this long block. And you can see the plant clusters and how they're positioned and which ones I used. And more plant clusters centered, one centered on the top of each of these 3 blocks on both sides. And you can see the plant clusters here along the walls. Some more decorations, kiln decorations. And the bridge. that goes across here. And again, this is from Building Sets Group 5. And notice these little clusters, and notice the little red flower, how it's oriented on each one. The red flower is oriented in such a way that it's pointing kind of towards the middle of the platform here. And railings go all the way around until we get to this point. And then the last island, you can see the plant clusters we've placed around the perimeter there, and a couple of these little guys here, as well as up here I placed a pipe climb from the platforming toys, and I styled it to use the gray theme. Okay, so that's everything I did there. So now we're going to select the plant clusters, go into the styling menu, and we're looking for the kiln style. And I am going to theme all. It says, are you sure? Yes. That will theme all of the plant clusters to use the kiln theme. And you can see what that did. These plant clusters give us our ladders that are going to help the player get up on top of these walls here on either side. And that's looking pretty good. It's a very decorative level, and I like how that turned out. And there we have it. The basic framework for our factory is done. We will fill in the rest of it each Friday as we go through a new tutorial, and in a few months you'll have a fun new toy box to play through, assuming of course that you have all of these play sets and have unlocked the toys that we're going to cover. Well, that's all for me today. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment before you go to let me know what you think of the factory so far, and be sure to check back on Friday for our first tutorial in this new toy box. Take care.